I'm calling the meeting at 7:06. Please indicate your name if you're present. Raúl Poe,
Ponzaniga. Joey Ritter.
María Nova.
proper meeting notice was posted on
Monday, August 5th.
Monday? Okay. The approval of the meeting minutes, do you want to read or waive?
I like to read.
Read. Will you please read it?
Okay. House board meeting took place on Tuesday, May 21st. We ratified a vote to go with Lone Star Plumbing for the replacement of the pool heater exchange. Property manager explained that in the last board meeting, the board approved JM boiler for the purchase of the pool heater exchange, subject to vendor providing the same device offered by the other two bidders and a warranty. JM boiler failed to provide both. In light of the urgency to purchase this device, board moved forward with Lone Star Plumbing for a difference of additional $5 for that component. Danny Lepson made a motion to ratify the vote for using Lone Star Plumbing, seconded by Manuel Cold. All were in favor. Second was approving Truist loan commitment letter and signatories.
No good anymore.
Mariano Magro went over the terms and conditions of Truist loan commitment letter. Roll call made a motion to approve Truist loan commitment letter, seconded by Mariano Magro. All were in favor. Meeting was adjourned by Manuel at 7:28 p.m. All in favor. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
There's motion to approve the minutes. I'll second it.
Favor.
In favor. Manuel?
Manuel.
Usually? Yeah, I'm in favor.
Okay. We are now going to discuss the agenda items. Where did that go? Okay, meeting agenda, call meeting to the order, establish of a quorum,
There goes Manuel.
proof of notice of meeting, approval last minute, that's it. Voting on a vendor for a research study.
Okay, so basically back in May 2022, a new legislature amendment went into effect, mainly because of the tragedy of the collapse of the Champlain Towers. It was later amended again in 2023, and the purpose of that particular amendment was to change what we all know as reserve study. Reserve study is usually conducted for the purpose of assessing the lifespan on components, as well as estimating the budgetary component for the payment of the replacement or repair in the future, depending on the life expectancy of each item. The reserve study that we all know was never mandatory. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. It was never mandatory, although it was highly recommended to be done anywhere between every 2 to 3 years. And it included roofing, painting, paving, and any item over $10,000. But in light of what happened with the Champlain Towers, one of the decisions was made that they needed to have a more complex process to ensure the safety of residents from a physical standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from a legal standpoint. And with that, they redesigned a new process called SEERS. So it's from reserve study, it became structural integrity reserve study, which can be conducted only by licensed engineer, and there are not many of them in every state to do that. A building that is not compliant by December 31st, 2024 will be subject to penalties and fines by the authorities. The new study, the SEERS, the Structural Integrity Reserve Study, is changed to include load-bearing walls, floor foundations, fire protection, plumbing, electrical systems, windows, foundation, waterproofing, and any component over $10,000.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. We are in the process of 40 years. So you have the electric, you're going to have the window, whatever you say, the structure, we have a report on the 40 years and everything. So when is the last minute we can do it? Because all this report going to be affected by the 40 years.
This year, not all. Not all.
90% of
Majority.
what you have, the majority,
Majority, yes.
we're planning to change the roof, so the roof, they're going to do a study, so you have to, my
When they
opinion
do the
is,
study, when they do the study, and again,
okay,
correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, you've done this before, they take under consideration that component when they give you the report. It will be in the report of what you're in the
I
process.
don't believe any engineer
Okay.
going to sign you something he doesn't see done. So,
No, they're going to say, doing the two roofs is going to cost you $1 million. And you have 2 more years, or 3 more years, or 0 more years.
okay, what
And
about the
wait,
whole
wait,
structure,
wait.
okay,
So that's 950,000 that you need to have in the reserves.
okay,
Once you replace the roofs,
okay.
that 950 becomes 0.
Yeah, but they
It's already started.
It's
You
not,
don't need to do it
it's
again.
not two, it's not zero, because they're going to give you, let's say 20 years or 10 years, you have to start to build the reserve. It's not
Yeah,
like
but
you
that
want
I-
to.
Replace the money.
When it's
You
new, it's
understand?
going to go to 0. You don't need
Yeah.
another study.
Sure you have to start, that's the reason you have, because the moment you put a new roof, okay, they're going to say the new roof, you have a life of 10 or 20 years.
20 years.
From the same day you start to build the
You need
reserve.
to replace.
Exactly, but that day,
That day
you
is
need
zero. You
$0.
start from zero, but then that's
It's
it.
already done. You don't need to do another study.
Right.
They told you you have 2 more years. When you replace it,
Okay.
it's basically set up.
Yeah,
from
but the
scratch.
moment you finish, you zero, correct? The moment they finish, you have to start to build again.
Yeah, but this is the study, it's okay.
But
It's a study, the study
I think
says,
it's too early. And the other thing we have to
We don't
think,
have a choice. It's a mandatory thing.
it's a mandatory, let's talk to the, what you call it, to the Falcon, when they did the 40 years, whatever it's affect them over there, it's going to be affected. You understand, like, in the 40 years, you have a reserve for painting? You have a reserve for painting.
Yes.
We're going to do new painting, they're going to say the painting is 10 years, you start to build it again, but
But they're going to tell you,
Okay.
doing the painting is $500,000. Once you do the painting, you don't need the $500,000. You don't need to do another reserve study for that.
you need, if,
Once you paint it, you don't need it any longer.
no, you need it.
No, the day one is going to be one of, let's say, 10 years of useful
Yeah,
life.
yeah, you have to start to build it, yes.
okay, but
Yes, but
Danny,
that's-
there are two
not
separate things. This is a study, and the study says, let's say that today we paint it from now, we need to start for 20 years to replace the money. But this is another story. To be mandatory and to complete, we need to do that, to do this, that's it.
You heard what they tell you, what is the item you say they have to inspect?
With the new reserve
Yes,
study,
yes, what's the
it
item?
includes load-bearing walls, floor
Okay.
foundations, fire
Everything.
protection, plumbing.
מה אני חושב להגיד לך, תזרוק את החלונות? אתה יודע מה אתה עושה? גמרנו על ה-40 years.
Danny, English for the rest of us.
So open board meeting.
But this is mandatory, Danny, what we can do, this, we have,
I say wait 3 months to tell you we start.
we have till
You understand? If
the
we.
31 of December.
I understand you in November.
Okay.
My opinion is to start because it can affect you the 40 years.
There's another,
Can affect
component,
you the 40 years.
there's another component to that decision. Insurance companies will not insure you
If you don't have,
if you don't have that reserve study done, which was never an issue before. And the other problem
this
is,
is for the next year, not
we're
for now.
running out of time in terms of being able to schedule an engineer, because it has to be a specific licensed engineer for that particular study. It cannot be just any reserve study company. So I got the okay from this 3 company that it can be done by that date.
When they want to start.
As soon
As
as
soon
we
as
approve,
possible.
as soon we approve, if we approve.
How much does it cost?
It's not the matter of cost right now, it's not a lot. The problem, my problem can affect our 40 years.
Okay, do you want to review the proposals?
Let me say something. The reserve study does not equate to the condition, the current condition of these items. They're basically going to just value those particular components of the building, right? There's a difference. I know what you're talking about, because the 40-year, you're basically locked into certain things you're gonna do now, right? Or comply. Those have already been established, right? Because they've been inspected by the company that looks at those particular items as part of the 40-year certification. With the SERS, it's structural integrity, right? So with those items, they're going to evaluate how much money you're gonna need for each one of those particular components that they're going to reserve for. So they're gonna establish your useful life, the dollar amounts, and therefore then they're gonna submit it, so therefore you can now plan your future.
And who you give this report?
Yeah, it's a report.
Who you have to give this report?
The association.
Yes, as
No,
soon as-
association who have to give the report?
You keep it on, just in case you're
You
inspected.
will?
You gotta post it. You gotta post it.
You got to post it?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens if we tell you today we have to change all the window?
They're not gonna tell you that.
Really? They inspect it? Yeah,
That's not what they're doing though. That's not.
That's what he told me, he's going to inspect.
But the
That's
question
what
here
he
is,
told me.
let's,
They're
you
going
have
to
an
inspect,
item.
but they're going to look at what you have. They can't willy-nilly it. They have to inspect what you have. They don't know what you have until they inspect the building.
Correct. What they're going to say, if the window, the lifetime is finished. So you have something from the engineer telling you, just example, the window over there, just example is no good. So it's build a record. That's what I'm trying to avoid. That's my point.
They may say that the windows should be replaced 5 years from now, right? They're not based on, useful life is what they're gonna look at, right?
It's gone.
Not the condition.
It's gone. It's gone.
What's gone?
Gone. The window life is gone. I'm telling you right now.
Listen, but this is,
So, you know,
Okay, okay, vote. Let me
Danny,
vote.
I don't know if a building yet that's done a SERS, no matter what age, where they have mandated that certain things be replaced. I don't know of one report that said that.
I'm telling you, I don't worry about the structure, the wall, because we did
such as perfect.
we found few things, we fixed it, you understand?
I understand all that, yeah.
Okay, my problem is engineer going to put you in a record, something is no good.
No, but that's not the.
Okay. That's my opinion, you don't agree,
No,
you don't agree.
I'm not objecting, I'm trying to understand what we're doing here. The SERS, from my understanding, is an independent, kind of like, really an outside independent inspection, right?
Right.
It really doesn't legally have anything to do with the 40-year.
No, what I'm telling you, in the 40 years, you're painting the building. We're going to do.
If you have an item that is close to the end of their useful life.
Yeah.
For example, a roof. And you do it now, the report is going to say, you need to reserve $1 million because your roof needs to be replaced in 1 year. So we are about to replace it. So if we do the report now, our amount of reserves is going to include 1 million for the roofing, that after replaced, we don't need that million, because we already replaced it. So that was my question to him. I don't think you need to do any further analysis on that. If it says that you have 1 more year and it costs 1 million, and you already replaced it, that's an item that at that moment,
It's zero.
it's
At
zero
that
out.
moment,
You
it's
don't
zero.
need
It's zero.
20 years in front of you.
So your ability is to prorate, to prorate
Yeah.
the million in 20 in the next 20 years.
But
That's
when
it.
you go to the next budget,
But this is
you're
another
not going to
construction.
include
Right,
the value of the roof,
of course,
because you already replaced it.
right, it's zero.
Okay.
From the moment that
Well,
you
let's
start,
say
it's zero.
we are planning to include it in special assessment, so you're not going to include it in the calculus of the reserve,
Right.
because you're already funding
Of
it.
course, it's right.
Let me ask you a question. Is Falcon, they can do 40 years? Enough 40 years study? They have somebody related with Falcon to do the study? So we can increase costs, you know?
We have 3 proposals here. Falcon is not here. I think we need to analyze these 3.
Okay, I'm against it.
Okay.
I want Falcon to be involved in it.
Which was the one that did it the last time? Is one of these 3?
No, because he could not commit until 2025 second quarter.
Okay.
So I didn't include it.
Because it's full or what? Why is the reason?
I'm sorry?
Why he doesn't?
He doesn't have time.
No time.
I'm trying to understand, I'm sorry, I don't understand this fully.
We have time till June next year. Our budget
Right.
is till June.
That's what I
It's
mean.
not in January, so I don't know why we're waiting. I mean, if they do the study now, our budget is from June to July.
Why don't you?
Vishnu explained to me, Vishnu from Enumerate,
Okay.
It's not,
explained to
the
me.
fashion is not to wait for people to stop talking, you need to just
No,
go.
that's okay, I don't comment to that either.
Yeah.
I know I contribute to that. But okay, go ahead, I'm just trying to
You're
understand
saying-
something, I'm not questioning anything you're saying.
Yeah, that's good.
The SERS study is absolutely required,
Right.
right?
And then
And
there
there's a deadline for when that has to be done, right?
December 31st this year.
Okay, so,
we need to do it.
so I don't understand what the discussion is.
Can I read this to you, so you have a fair idea of what it actually says? Okay, and the idea that I'll just complete this argument, you can move on.
I
Okay?
move on.
Okay. So this is about service. Our engineers, and it's from the company, our engineers evaluate the safety of of your building based on the criteria set forth in the law, no more and no less. We will not unnecessarily fail the buildings for items that are not strictly required to comply. The law states that substantial structural distress negatively affects a building's general structural condition and integrity. Does not include surface imperfections unless deemed a sign of substantial structural deterioration. Above and beyond the minimum requirements to comply with the safety bill, we advise stakeholders of any additional recommended maintenance and repairs, such as addressing superficial defects and waterproofing issues, as is typical for building of a certain age. This work is not required to pass the inspection. In the event of structural deficiencies or conditions that would result in structural deficiencies are identified, we advise the stakeholder of the options for safety and for compliance. We can provide associated repair costs, so on and so forth.
So you said it's not, so it's not required.
No, the service is required. Their report, what they report, is not gonna have anything to do with the requirement of doing those repairs. They're informing you, right?
Okay, so it's information. So my question is, this SERS study is gonna be extremely duplicative of what the 40-year, not duplicative of what the 40-year tells us?
No, the report is just to calculate the level of research you need to hold at a particular age, based on the life expectancy or the useful life of your items.
We're not already doing that for the
Okay.
40-year inspection?
No, we are repairing and, you know, putting them to a full useful life.
You know, let me just tell you what the service is about, just so you have a fair idea, because typically associations have not done these types of reserves, right? They haven't really looked at their plumbing to find out what the age requirement is. It's a fix-as-you-go thing, right? And you probably run into this a million times, right? That's how buildings operate. So the point is that these things are provided now to make you aware of what your lifetime expense is gonna be for these particular items, so you can plan for the money. That's what this is all about. This is what did not happen in Surfside. They did not plan, so they didn't do the work. And this is so you can plan to get to work. And they're forcing you to do the work, so you have money to do it, not say, I don't have the money to do it. That's really what this is all about.
That implicit in the 40-year, that information is not gonna be.
40 years is the current status of it. This study is planning what you're gonna need money
To
for.
have control, to guarantee that you do it and you avoid the problem later.
Well,
That's
that's
it,
it,
that's
that's just
it.
putting you on notice as to what you need to collect over the next X amount of years for each one of these particular things.
Okay.
That's what pooling really should be about. When you pool your money and you put this together regarding all these components, you're not gonna collect the full amount. You're gonna collect as to what's due in a particular
Okay,
year.
they're going to give us by the 31st the study, okay? They're going to give us the study by the 31st.
I think it's important to establish that there are two
I
separate reports here.
understand what you said. They're going to give me the 31st the study, okay? If I need to collect money, what we going to do? We're waiting to June?
No, you're required to start the reserves anyway. You're supposed to have 100% reserves, right? That's what they're telling you
Yeah,
to
but
do.
our study, that's what I understood. We, not from December to, from January to December, we are from June to June.
July.
There's nothing-
July,
nothing to
okay,
do with
no
it.
problem.
It's not-
That is,
no,
it's
again,
totally- it's
no,
totally
no,
different.
okay.
The law says the end of the years, we need to have we need to be ready, that's it.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if you
The
do
point
it
is
in
that-
January or in March or whatever it is. And I think that they do all this strategies to avoid a repeat a case like,
We have study.
Adjournment, that's it.
We have a study on the building.
They want to assure that
That's
every,
what I was trying to say, Danny.
Yeah.
This study has got to do with roofing, air conditioning,
Right.
plumbing, and everything else. The 40 years is only structural, electrical, and
Roofing.
parking lot lighting.
roofing.
Roofing as well?
Yes.
I'm sorry, and roofing. But still, they don't look at plumbing, they don't look at air conditioning, they don't look at things that this other company does. These are two
They look
different
on the
studies.
safety, they're on the safety.
One's a 40-year recertification, one's reserves study.
You know, you
Totally
inspector,
different.
I don't like too many engineers to come to stick in my property. Because everybody have different opinion. I'm not disagree to do the study. Don't shut my mouth. I don't disagree to do the study. I don't like too many people sticking in. All my opinion is, if Falcon, what they're doing the report, they can create us this report, even the little bit higher, let's just say, I like them to be sticking to it. Because they have a fact, we don't have to go back and forth, send them this is covered by the 40 years and all of it. So you know how to clearance and everything, they inspect, they signed and everything. That's what I'm
But
trying
in
to say.
construction buildings, that's the same thing. You can have your own, the contractor can't inspect his own work,
I
so
didn't say that.
they get a threshold
Threshold,
inspector.
yes.
Threshold inspector is besides the city inspector.
I understand.
So
Our
they're
threshold
inspectors to
inspection is
inspect other
Falcon.
inspectors,
Our
so it's
threshold
kind of-
inspection is a Falcon. What I
I
said,
agree. It was just an example.
Yes, yes, I
But there,
understand.
one checks the others, and checks and balances.
I understand, so this is not the inspector, this is our threshold inspector is Falcon.
Right.
Why we don't ask them to do it? That's my opinion, I didn't say.
Listen, I don't know exactly the answer, but it sounds,
They cannot do it for a reason. They cannot do it because they don't understand in boilers and in AC components, because a reserve study is done by an engineer who
different.
knows all aspects of the building, so they can give you the life expectancy of each
Right.
component, and it's not just
And the replacement value
and
also.
roofing, I'm sorry?
And the replacement value.
Well,
It's not
I
just an
said, no,
engineer.
the understanding in terms of understanding.
You
how
know
to-
they don't do
How
it.
to project
You 100%.
the life expectancy
Yeah.
of that component.
I'm pretty sure Falcon is going to know how to assess the life expectancy, but if they don't know how to assess the value of replacement, you don't have the other part that is
Correct,
important for the,
and that's
for the
what
report.
this
That's why,
engineers.
that's why this, as
Yeah,
I said from what.
specialized.
But you sure Falcon doesn't perform study? You sure?
We need to move.
No,
That's
no,
the
no,
word.
no.
So don't say they don't do it.
Mark.
Because it's one engineer, you have to understand, he can tell you, one engineer is the firm, and you have like plumbing engineer over there, you have electric engineer, one engineer doesn't do it, it's divided, you understand? Even if it's the own. But my opinion, we should tie it to it, that's my opinion, you don't want it almost.
Yeah, so Dan.
That's my
this-
opinion.
let me ask you a question. This report from SERS is basically an internal report for us.
But it has to be published.
It has, but it's internal, it doesn't go to the municipality, it doesn't go, am I wrong or, I don't know, what am I missing? I'm happy to hear what I'm missing.
The purpose of the report of Sears is for the board, for the association.
Yeah.
To use as information
Right,
on how to basically budget
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah,
Listen,
combine
Danny, if we don't understand, I want you to explain it to me. I don't understand what the problem is.
combined with
I'm
another
asking you to
thing.
explain it.
We combine to.
No, but
Some of it is duplicative.
It's combined with other thing, that the state of Florida determined that you no longer can pass a budget with partial
I
reserves.
agree with you.
So
I
it's
don't
telling
agree
you,
with
you are forced, or your duty is to get the report, and second, when it comes to the budget, you need to get that money.
And they are
So
aware.
we're gonna be held, so if the SERS report comes in a lot higher,
Yeah.
then we're gonna be held to that.
Of course,
They
yeah,
have-
but not, it's not here, it's all buildings around.
Yeah.
Everybody will
I
pay it
don't see what choice we have, that's all I'm trying to
No
say.
choice.
I don't, you maybe don't understand me.
I know, but I'm trying to.
My opinion is to find out if Falcon can provide the service, I want Falcon to do it. That's my opinion.
What did you told her they cannot?
He didn't
Yeah,
say
you
this.
can, it doesn't sound like
If
they
they are
can.
not experts on plumbing, they can't do a full
They can
report.
found it, but it costs you more. It's very easy.
You don't understand.
I understand.
Okay, do whatever you want.
I understand,
I mean,
I try to understand yourself, but I understand.
There's a reason.
Falcon is a civil engineer for everything, you understand? You have a plumbing over there, you have electric, you have AC, you have everything.
But
It's
not for
like-
this.
How you know? He didn't say that you don't do this.
They need board certificate people, you didn't understand.
You know they don't do the study.
So we can find out.
Okay, would you like to table this?
Whatever they want. I want, since I don't want to have too many engineers in the building at the same time.
So let's find out if they can do it.
Can I make a suggestion? Maybe you got bids? Okay, so.
We have 3 bids.
Okay, so you got 3 bids right now, right? Okay, you can look at the 3 bids now, let's say make a contingent decision in the event Falcon doesn't do it, right? You'll find out whether Falcon
But
does it or not, okay?
But Mark, anyway, let's say that Falcon do it. Falcon will cost us more.
No,
You don't know that yet.
no. No.
Okay.
For the study, they have like a table, there's a study, you understand?
But
okay.
Well,
Whatever you want.
first of all,
Vote whatever you
you're
want.
discussing something you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, but Danny
You don't
says
know.
it makes sense. We'll find out if they can do it. Let's
Right.
first
Okay,
find
you know
out.
what, I will take your consideration, it's right. Let's study these 3 one, we approve one condition to see if they do it or not, that's it.
Yeah.
And continue.
Yeah.
So, tell us please the three bids, what we have, the,
You don't understand, that you end up,
understand?
no, you end up, don't ignore me. You
No,
end
I
up,
totally understand.
you
I
end
tell
up,
you, I know.
whatever,
I understand.
don't tell me you love me.
I wanna hear him. Right.
Whatever they're going to do in the study, since we're doing the 40 years, to do the clearance, you need a letter from them.
For the 40 years, and that's it. After that,
No,
after that,
not
shall
for the
not
40 years. Let's say paint. They need a letter from Falcon, we finish the paint. You do the roof, they need a letter from the, you are going to end up to get the letter from them anyway.
Okay.
Right.
The clearance, you know what I'm
But
saying?
anyway, at the end of
You
the
get the
finish
final
with them,
release,
that's it,
yeah.
so. Falcon by law, shall not say. Okay, so tell us the three bids that we have in order to choose one, and condition if they do it, we see again what's going on. In case that they don't do that,
Can I say something?
yes, of course.
We have several things going on and several things to decide and to repair and to move on with. One example is the 40 years certification. We cannot stop everything that happened. We have 3 valid bids here from a specialist in reserve studies. I respect Danny's opinion, but unless everybody else is good tabling, go ahead, we have 3 here. No need to go and check with Falcon. Most probably Falcon is not doing this, but even if they does, why going with Falcon?
Why you going for Falcon?
You're ready to get.
I told you, well, that's my opinion.
Okay.
You don't understand.
No,
When
no,
you when you have a report, it's on the record.
Yes.
It's on the record, it's like in the
Yes.
things.
In why?
It's on the record.
Falcon is going to be more benign?
No,
Or
I
they're
didn't
going
say
to give
fa-
you less
I
money?
don't see-
What is the reason why?
because I see stuff over here is going to affect us.
Yes.
Okay, not a problem.
If
Go
one
forward.
of these, let's say it's the lowest bidders, tell you that according to their opinion is $10 million in reserves, you're fucked.
Okay.
And why do you think Falcon is going to give you a better treatment?
Not kidding.
Do whatever you want. I tell you what is my opinion.
I don't
I'm
think
one
we-
of 7.
In my opinion, we don't need to table it, unless we don't like the options we have.
Can you tell us, please, can you continue to see what's going on? Talking about what?
We have a company called Reserves Advisors, and for that, they're requesting 11,700. We have Association Reserves, which, by the way, 2 of properties that I was a district manager for with KW, I got to meet this company and the president himself, Will Simon. They're requesting $24,660.
It's a double.
And Allied Engineering Company requesting $54,000.
54.
Correct.
So.
Why we need to check structure in everything you have when you have a report? To me,
Because that's a requirement.
but they have a report from them already done.
They're-
That's why I want to use Falcon.
I think Andy's point is the work is duplicate.
That's what I was trying to say.
The report that we have from Falcon is
Now,
only with
some of it
reference
is-
to the facade and the roofing.
And
and
they
the
don't
And
tell you
electric-
the values for which you need to
I
replace.
guess I can already handle the structural problem with the crack in the, pillar or something
We
like
did
that.
And that's for directing the work on doing the repair.
Structural,
This is
okay.
a different thing. They need to tell you what is the useful life and what is the
Right.
value of replacement.
What needs to be done, yes.
Okay, but let's
No,
continue.
what's the cost
The cost.
of
and
the
how to
replacement
fin-
of the item?
And how to
So
financially
that is not
budget.
duplicated. We don't have that.
How many years? I get it.
Mariano, but you know what? Well, let's continue. We choose one. He call tomorrow, Falcon. If Falcon, yes, how much is it? If it's exactly, we sit together. If no, the fact we just approve and that's it.
For me, it's
I
fine.
understand you exactly that, no sense, but
We
anyway.
need to get things done,
Right.
you know, not kick the.
Down the road.
Right,
Yeah.
I understand. Now, I have a question. Why so a big difference, 54, 24, 11,000?
I will pick,
Why? It's the same, everything is the same, apple to apple. They compare apple to apple, all of three?
There's nothing to compare.
The study is the study.
Study is a study, they come to the building, they ask me before.
Okay, but it's a, the,
And they all qualify to do the study.
11,000 to 54,000 is something that.
And 20 in the
So we
middle.
picked the lowest number.
I know, but,
Low doesn't mean the best one.
Did you check it?
But being that a lot of it, some of it's gonna be duplicated anyway,
Exactly.
we don't necessarily need to get the best. one.
That's why I also indicated that I have an experience with a company that is known. Association Reserves is a company that gives courses and classes everywhere. They're one of the most formidable companies in reserve study.
All of three are certificated?
The other two were recommended by Enumerate, one of them, and the third one,
Which one is numerate?
Enumerate gave me,
The cheapest.
Wouldn't help, you know, which one is best, which one to use.
I have to see.
I want to know which one is numerate. I don't know which one is.
Y'all can have a good idea which one to
He
use?
actually gave me two.
No.
Okay, give me
I
the
don't
two
know
again.
if it's both of these.
Okay,
because
I want to
there
know which
was one
one.
that couldn't do it.
I don't want to use anybody connected to
¿Cómo
numerate.
se llama?
But Woody, wouldn't Falcon maybe have an idea which one we should choose?
Who?
Falcon.
Well, yes, Anisha can say to you, I know of this one and I know of that one.
But all of three are certificate, they're in
They're
front.
all licensed.
The license
for that
in front of the
partic-
company.
for that particular.
That's the most
for
important.
Sears, yeah.
And Falcon too.
Did you talk with all of them?
Yes.
For all of the all three.
Any particular, other than the price, any
Okay.
particular remark that you want to share?
It's a very, simple, like the whole thing, it's not very complex. Everyone is gonna try to sell it in a different way and explain why, they can do a better job, but you can't deviate from this process. It's a very
Right.
simple.
But look at the prices, it doesn't make sense.
That's it.
Yeah,
So-
doesn't this have to be done every 2 years? 10.
It's recommended, the reserve study, not the Sears. Every 2 to 3 years recommended, but it wasn't mandatory. Now, it became mandatory to do this, and every milestone. So you do the Sears, and then every 10 years.
10 years, okay.
So you know what, Juan, what is your opinion of the inspector? You have more experience than us?
We're too worried about something that is not gonna have hands-on on the property, like fixing a pool here or something like that. This is just a report to appease the state, period.
Which all of three you choose?
I don't,
The cheapest.
I would go as Joe, you know, with Joe, with the lowest, that we meet the requirement, we're done. We're doing
I'm
our
with you.
40-year, we're done.
Okay, I am the same with you.
This allied is $54,000, I didn't
It's
even.
ridiculous.
Okay, so I checked the other two, actually this one,
Yeah, I don't have
I didn't have it. So this one is very, very handsome presented, it says, well, actually we are giving you.
Well, this is the cheapest one, right?
No. This is
20,000.
24,600. So it's actually two reports. It's one is the Sears, the other is the traditional reserve study. We provide both, and then they enumerate the different components they are going to assess. And in the one that costs half.
I don't have that one.
Okay.
But you go ahead and
Every single component that are listed here in the two different reports.
Thank you.
Lowest.
It's named here. Elevators, it says here that you are getting like twice the value, but actually this one for 12,000 is assessing the same components.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I make a motion to approve this one, subject to see the factor yes or no, but it's, in case no, automatically.
Okay, I second, but I would love to hear what, Danny, you don't like what we're doing here? You don't like?
No.
So I don't understand what it is then. You don't
You're
have a choice,
going to have two opinions.
but we don't have a choice. The
Okay.
state, for some, who
Okay.
knows what reason, the state's making this a
Okay,
requirement.
you know, the cheapest way is not, it's like you go to a doctor, you know what I'm saying? You have a good doctor, you have a junior doctor, and
We're going to
you
the
please.
54.
I don't know, I didn't say take the 54. First, I don't know which building none of them did. I want to know which building they did, how they performed. I don't know if they did 4-story or they do high-rise. That's number one.
Okay.
And second, I have a main doctor here right now in the building. I want to know if he can provide me this.
Right.
That's all I want to know.
Okay.
If he charge me $100,000, because you end up to go to him, you end up to get the releases to get it from him. That's all I
But
said.
we all agree with you.
Okay.
No, I
But
don't
in
agree.
case Falcon
I don't
says,
agree. I
in
don't
case Falcon says,
I don't agree with that. I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think we're going to have two opinions over the same thing. All of that, I don't believe.
no, we all agreed that we would ask Falcon.
Yes.
You had two engineers to come to electric
Right.
with two different opinions.
100%.
You have two
This is
in,
a different scope.
No,
The
this is
same thing.
different, Joe. This is completely different, Joe. This is nothing to do with Falcon, nothing.
Nothing to do with
Right.
It's a different electrical system. they
What I'm
work in.
saying is, in order to, kind of relieve, Danny of his concern, we're gonna talk to Falcon. But in the meantime, we can
Listen,
pick.
I want-
But the other thing we can do is pick one of these experts
Yeah, that's
that
the
does
idea.
that for a job every day. Look for the one that it gets better value for this piece to the building and do it, and that's it, and
But
forget
they're
about it.
basically doing the same thing, so that's, the best
They
builder
are
would
not
be the.
doing the same thing. That's.
These two
incorrect.
proposals,
These two proposals are the same,
Yeah,
but this
I
and
know.
Falcon is not the same.
I know, but these guys are all doing the same thing.
Yes, that's why we
So
have
let's
three
take
proposals.
let's
Yeah,
take
my
the one
point
that
is,
leads
I
to
agree
all
with
the
you.
residents.
My point is, why we didn't ask Falcon to give us a bid?
Because they
That's
don't do that, they do everything.
How you know? You ask them?
I don't see the benefit on doing it with Falcon, honestly. It's something that might be a benefit, might not, they might not do it, possibly not.
What are you saying?
Falcon finished his job when we have the certificate in our hand, and that's it,
The
ciao.
main business is how, it's different.
Wait, Udi, the servers, this was a state mandated extra requirement, right? That they added recently, right?
It was passed or adopted in May 2022.
Okay.
And it was amended again in 2013.
So you could be sure, Danny, if Falcon was able to do it, they would put it in as an additional charge to do it.
Nobody asked them. Nobody tells
So
them.
we're gonna ask them.
That's what they say.
But in the meantime, let's at least, in case Falcon says, no, we don't do it,
I
let's at
agree
least,
with you.
let's at
Okay,
least have.
I make a
Falcon-
motion to approve the cheapest one of 11,000.
Right.
Who's second?
Let me just, before we make a motion, let's just look at what we get for the money.
Okay.
I'm looking at SERS right here, they only give you a reserve study level 1, which is only, this service includes pre-project meeting to discuss your unique needs and priorities with our engineer.
Which one do you raise?
This is, I'm
Cheapest,
sorry, yes,
cheapest.
the SERS, the cheapest, okay? Getting a PDF report with a 30-year expenditure and funding plans tables, and you get an Excel spreadsheet with formulas. And number 3, a complimentary support with implementation of your study on the ongoing guidance. That's all we get from them.
But that fulfills the requirement. What they're gonna
That
do
would be-
fulfills the requirement.
We wouldn't know because they don't say that that's gonna fill the requirement. This one says they will, fill the requirement
This is
based on
which is
Senate
the-
bill.
This is the 50 or the 24?
This is the
The
24.
24, okay.
Okay, they have 2 reports that they claim they're gonna give us. The structural integrity reserve study, which has a whole bunch of things here, and a report number 2 would be a traditional reserve study, which also has other things here. Okay,
Yeah, but that's.
that one has
More
two
problem.
reports.
That was my point.
Right.
So what is the requirement? The 1 or 2? You know?
Right.
Look,
They're
That's
not
what I'm
clear on
telling
that.
you.
let's go one by one. Roof?
Okay,
Well,
We go that road. You know, now you know what the difference, now you know what the difference is between the two, right?
okay, so yeah,
Okay, now, Cody, do you
Plan.
have a reserve study already from last year, let's say, or the year before?
Electrical
We
system.
have from 2021, it's the last one by Isaac Drooks.
Okay,
And
okay, so
he's
that's,
done it here several times, so I went to him first, but They said we cannot do
But
it.
that reserve study is part of what this second reserve study
They're gonna go
is
into a list.
addressing. In other words, we're giving you the old fashioned
For
reserve
the
study,
statute, which you are
plus
doing.
the.
So it looks like they're doing the same thing.
That, they don't understand.
So, you know, they,
When we have.
they're
the
marketing
report-
it.
Right, they
Yeah,
market
they
it.
all
As
can
two
do
different
marketing, yeah.
reports, but actually,
Do you guys, wait,
The main-
listen.
They're not coming.
they-
Yeah, we are.
They're not coming.
They're gonna give the same.
Wait, just
Mark.
yes. Thing that,
I hear you.
the difference between the two is the big one and the one that's the middle.
The middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
24/6.
The difference is that the one that's higher is giving you the reserve study you already have. They're just duplicating it,
Right.
okay? Now, that doesn't mean to say that the one you currently have isn't outdated, maybe it should be brought up, but Udi can go back to the original, who's been doing that particular
Before.
reserve study every so many years, right? And probably would do it a lot cheaper, would probably do it a lot cheaper, because they already know the building.
Why didn't we go to them?
They couldn't do
we
it,
did.
the one who did it before?
Yes.
Because they couldn't, commit to doing it before the December, 2024. They were already booked up.
Okay.
What's the name of this company that was
I
before?
fill out the
Isaac
form.
Drew and Associates.
Then the state.
Why don't we do this? We do this, we go with the cheapest one and we have a contingency in the contract, assuming that everything you are saying you do fulfills all the requirements.
I agree.
That's what it is.
I just wanted to.
So I make a
clarify
motion to approve this,
You can make a motion, he's not.
Danny's gonna come back from the cigarette.
We have 4 of them.
Let's make the motion now.
He's the one that wanted Danny to be here.
Well done,
I understand. It's gonna be a.
So it's gonna be with the one we choose as a contingency that they tell us in writing that everything they're gonna do will fulfill all the requirements.
It says here, property wellness reserve study, that's just a different name, no? But then it says, reserve advisor will perform a structural integrity reserve study, serious. So it's a concept,
There's one form for that,
yeah.
okay?
And again, no, the components they're
You
going
have
to
a
assess
check of
are the
components
same.
in front of me, and it just one line by line is going.
This one actually has,
More,
you know,
right?
more things, like walking path, post support lights, irrigation system, parking area, retaining walls, perimeter wall fences, mailboxes, signage, gates.
Right.
I mean,
Presentation.
Yeah.
I read this one and I liked it.
Me
They
too.
offer you like a software that you can use.
To update utilities.
Exactly. So,
But then you give you also a software that you can go and, update.
How much you guys?
the cheapest one I didn't.
Yeah, this is the one, when you read where the price is, where's that?
Here.
We need to study
You read right there.
what we need,
Give you a
you know?
PDF report, which is probably something you can,
No, the PDF report is
an
just.
Excel sheet.
Yeah.
We have to know,
Adjust it,
we have to know what legally they're asking us, what the kind of report, and
So we're gonna have a contingency with the proposal saying, we'll take this proposal under the contingency that everything that you say you do is all that we're gonna need to fulfill the requirements of the state or the municipality.
good for,
Okay, so we'll make a motion to approve this. What's the name of the company?
Reserves advisory.
Reserve.
Reserve Advisors. Who's second? Okay.
Wait, there's no contingency?
No,
It says there's a contingency.
Yeah, when,
The
regarding
contingencies.
to them, regarding them, that in our contract, we state, we are accepting this proposal only under the contingency that everything that you're doing will fulfill all of the state requirements.
and also Falcon has to answer whether or not they.
Yeah, well, that's separate.
And Falcon,
We're gonna do the
that's a
Falcon.
contingency.
Is a part of the contingency.
Oh, okay.
That Rahul had actually said too.
That's the first
Yeah,
contingency,
that's the
actually.
first
No, this is the first.
Then it goes to the second
But
contingency.
that's between,
Contingent upon checking
development.
with the Falcon Group first, if they conduct that type of.
The price, and to get the price, and to find out what actually report we need, but no.
In case that they say, please to send, some kind to have a letter, to have something behind us.
So Raul made that motion, who's second?
I said.
Joe.
Who is in favor?
I'm in favor.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
That Emmanuel is not here.
He is, but.
That's Manuel also.
Manuel? Does he hear?
He's muted himself.
Sure. Okay. The next point, ratifying emergency plumbing works.
Okay. So we have a series of plumbing works that were all emergencies that we have to take care of, that we're gonna be ratifying in this board meeting. The first one is for, unit 219. It was a major backup on a Friday night. That took place, we had Peter's Plumbing here, and that job cost $18,875. This was a work that was stretched over almost 1 week. The other one,
Let's add more color here. So it's not the sea, which is the
It's done,
sewer.
it's
the
done.
sewer.
Yeah.
The sewer flooded the apartment in apartment 219. We needed to hire a company to disinfect and deeply clean the apartment. We need to put the residents in a hotel for 2 days. It's important that we know this, because this is pretty much the state of the current plumbing we have.
This came up from the bathtub, from the toilet?
Yes.
Yeah, and the shower.
Flooded the whole apartment.
Why wasn't it not on the whole floor? Why was it just an apartment?
Because it's line by line. So that
So
one line,
every 19
got
was
clogged.
affected?
219.
I know, that was two, so every 19
Yes.
was affected up and down.
The lowest unit, it's the
Yeah.
lowest unit, the clock was in the middle,
You
so
have the
there
pipe,
was
and then you have an elbow.
The gravity
After
works
the last one.
in the stadium, Miami, works in the gravity. So everything's just.
So it was an emergency. It created all sorts of issues. And it's pretty pricey, because also that company worked on the weekend to make sure that these people could get back to their homes on Sunday or Monday.
They don't, and they don't have insurance, they would have covered that?
It's our insurance.
Those are part.
Yeah, but we
Maybe.
don't cover by our insurance.
No, we presented
We presented the insurance, there was no coverage for it.
Why?
In the policy, there's no coverage for it.
What is this in the pipe inside?
it's
Rust?
No, what you see in the pipe is a buildup for mostly
Cholesterol.
stuff that people flush down the toilet.
yeah. What is the name of
Gas
this?
burner.
And today the wipes became the number of
Wipes.
Cholesterol, this is like a cholesterol.
Only.
Wipes.
Yeah, that's
I'm a little
cholesterol.
confused. How does the building not have, is there an answer why the building doesn't have insurance for that?
It's not that it doesn't, it's not this particular event, this incident, there's no
I'm
coverage.
not talking about the to fix. The damage should be fixed from the insurance. I mean, the hotel or
But
something
those
like this.
No, I think that we have some, but remember now we have a $5,000 deductible.
Correct.
Okay.
So
The hotel stay and the meals that we covered for them, and it doesn't go over 5,000, nowhere near it. And with reference to damages, association is not responsible for the damages of personal property inside the apartment. She has to have insurance, the owner has to have insurance for that. They cover everything from the walls out.
What was the cause of this event?
A clogged main pipe.
Right, but because we have had clogs here before. My question is, was it an act of God or an act of, what created this event? Because typically insurance policies do cover these matters unless it's an act of God or war or something of that nature. So what was the cause of it?
When you said it was like a 40-year cast iron pipe and all the buildup from the wipes and the grease coming in there.
I understand, but
They just made them more.
I think the mystery that many of us are having is what was the genesis? What triggered the event?
Yeah, you know,
And that perhaps would actually connect us with some coverage.
They put wipes into the toilet. They.
But how you know if it's there, it's the full line.
That's the full line, yeah.
So how you know if it's from 20 floor, 80 floor,
It's
or
not from that floor.
it's the main
They
pipe,
found-
you know,
they
the
found-
branch is going to the main pipe.
The main clogged pipe was found actually in the garage underneath the apartment,
Yeah,
so.
How you know it's from them? You know?
There's no way to prove who it came from.
no.
It wasn't a clog that you can actually identify came from a specific apartment.
Right.
And by the way, this is something that is a concern in general in our building with pipes that are 40 years old. So, and we're gonna get to the next one.
So when we're doing this, can occur all the time.
Sorry, the date when it occurred?
You know, our advantage in our building, the pipe is not underground, it's only pipe
I'm
going
sorry?
to the garages. So
Danny, please, I'm sorry. September what?
September 2023.
That was when the event, the issue occurred, okay. September 20.
We had a similar issue in Tower 2. Some of you may have remembered, Peter's Plumbing was there again, working on that pipe in the loading dock hallway an entire day. Replacing pipes, cleaning some others, which caused a backup in the apartment on the second floor as well. Again, second floor, but a different apartment, obviously, Tower 2. That happened in January.
And how much is this credit?
I'm sorry, excuse me, please, one question, Udi, thank you for answering the previous question. I'm just trying to be clear. You said this occurred in September of 2023, the previous year? At that period, wouldn't we have already met, based on the expenses that we have, wouldn't we already have met our deductible for the insurance coverage? That's
23 years ago. Almost a year
that's
ago.
what I'm saying. But at that point, in September, because our policy is issued from, it doesn't go up according to the association's fiscal year.
No,
it goes from January,
March 27th.
March.
27th.
So during that period from March to September, we hadn't met our deductible for that in that 2023.
We've met our deductibles in other.
Is it per occurrence or is it?
It's per occurrence.
So there you go.
It's not a one time, it's not a recurrence.
Okay, and then if it occurred in 23, why is it that we are just bringing to a board meeting for the approval from such a long period, when an emergency was an emergency was attended to? We're now in August, and this emergency occurred in September.
Yes, and we are ratifying.
So, right, but typically, which is great, which is what we should be doing. However, my question is seeking clarity is, this emergency occurred back in the previous year. Almost why is it that we took so long? Because my understanding is the board has and the management has a right to make emergency decisions, but then it needs to be ratified at the next meeting so owners can be aware of what's going on. And I'm I'm trying to connect why.
The only thing I can answer on this, Paul, I've been without an engineer in this place for almost a year, okay? And it's been very, very challenging with everything that we do. And we finally got to compile this list, and that's why we're here today.
But Eddie was here in 23.
Eddie was not here in 2023.
No, September 23.
Oh, September 23, he still was, but, oh, right, it was about 3 months before he left, correct. But it's been challenging, that's all.
Okay, next one. Casa
Next one.
section.
We don't need to make any vote today.
We need to ratify.
We have to do it.
Because when you have an emergency, typically the manager talks to the president, say, okay, this is the problem we have, we need to act right now. Tell me what is the amount, and then in a next meeting or the following one, whatever is the case, you ratify that, because we cannot do it.
But anyway, at any case, we have no choice. This is an emergency.
No, but that's the procedure.
Okay.
And now we are ratified. We have attended the emergency and we're ratifying it.
Okay. It's okay, we try to do for the next time, so don't be so long,
Yes.
the
I agree.
ratification.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The next one took place in January, or maybe December. I'm looking at the invoices, January. We had an issue with the men's bathroom. It was clogged, and it actually led to the pipe all the way by the valet area. If you remember, we had to remove the bricks from there for several days.
There was no water and bathroom in any public bathrooms.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
There was no
No water.
water
No water. Mhm.
in any public bathroom.
Correct.
Everything was
Upstairs to the second floor as well,
Yeah.
because it controls both floors.
Who did this job?
This one, Peter's Plumbers.
I don't want them here anymore.
They're
They
not.
over there,
We're
in this,
done.
in this,
We're
in
done
this
with
one,
that.
I know the overcharges.
I-
For nothing, because I remember the
100%.
review of the pictures and everything,
100%.
and they put.
I'm sorry.
wrong thing.
A question, I'm sorry. For the event that occurred in 23rd, what was the cost, since we have waited so such a long period? How much have we spent approximately for that event?
They need to open, remember, they need to open.
No, I agree with
floor
you.
This will all be.
I agree, but.
But I'd like to know.
I can send them to you.
Okay, and because I'd like to know for each event, what was the cost and the dates?
You understand, if you put a pipe, like a 2 feet, you put 10 feet, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, thank you.
How much it cost this one, this story?
This particular one, 14,000, I'm sorry.
19,500.
19, no, wait.
Oh,
No,
no.
no, 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 no.
14,500.
This date is how?
14,500.
14,500,
Account balance is because maybe we all.
correct. That 5,000
No,
is
no,
from the
I-
other job.
He paying because he came here to make a scene and screaming, I want the money in this, I was there, you know?
If you scream too much, forget it, it's another problem. A lot of problem here in Miami.
When we did the budget, we increased the budget for plumbing because we know that this is happening more and more often. And this is going to be a challenge going forward.
Do we have no?
I have a problem,
So-
I tell you.
So for the event of 23rd,
Fighting, because it's getting
I know
more
the
and
next
more
one.
every line is getting.
But we are not checking them, for example, like a standard procedure. Maybe we need to do X amount of lines, maintenance.
They have
every
treatment
year.
too, Mariano, they have a treatment, you know, he can tell you, in the new buildings now, they flashing the.
But we don't do it.
We don't do it.
I don't know exactly what the maintenance program would be on a riser for plumbing.
But they do, I know.
They have all kinds of
Yeah,
things.
they have all kind, now they don't use any more cast iron, they use plastic, most of it is different, I understand.
So for the second event, was the second event covered by insurance? Neither?
What do they
The-
plastic or?
Cast iron.
Cast iron.
The second event was
So if
They
$5,000.
replace with plastic.
The one for the clogged the bathrooms.
In your tower.
All the new construction,
In your
yeah.
tower.
Uh-huh.
It's by the hallway of
It
the
doesn't
loading.
corrode as quickly.
There was no coverage.
Scaling, but
Right,
not
so
corrosive.
you got, number one, you gotta be careful what you use. Okay,
Correct,
the cleaners. Number two, they're 40 years old, they can be very thin, so you don't wanna make matters worse.
Right.
Okay, so, there's a preventive maintenance schedule that you need to plan, but at the same time, those pipes need to be inspected to see the condition they're in. Now, some of them could be in great condition, you could line them after
Yeah.
they're clean, right, which gives you added life to it, and it's less expensive and less invasive.
And that's legal and it's code.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
We lucky, all our drain going to the garage, on the ceiling of the garage, so we don't have to dig or anything.
Yeah, but that didn't prevent us to needed to replace several pipes.
Look,
Makes
if
it
they
less
leave the
expensive.
garage open, and those pipes doesn't seal the corrosion and the humidity and everything, they eating all
It's
this
still
pipe.
advantage, that's it.
You know, I remember they had to change a small pipe for the sprinkler, and I was upset. I told them how we got to this point, you know, rusting, nobody cleaned it before, you understand? 6 feet, we pay $9,000. Somebody went and brushed it, and they, you know?
We're implementing a maintenance program, maybe, an inspection program, and,
Maybe-
eliminating the need of paying 14,000, 18,000, putting people in hotels.
Correct.
If we can implement that, maybe, plumbing company can start giving us some estimates on that.
Yes, but.
I think we need to do.
We need to have a good engineer.
Don't
who
forget
gets
that it's
the-
an emergency also.
Right, these are emergencies.
No, first of all, yeah.
But let's just, instead of reactive, be proactive and get a
We
program.
I'm agreeing with you.
the emergency if we hire Roto-Rooter
But
to
we
do
can
it.
prevent, but the emergency is not
the-
next.
the-
And they have cameras now that go through these
Yeah,
things.
no, and they
No, we
use
have-
the cameras
we have
in all of these
nothing.
cases.
They show the camera, they put the camera here.
Nothing this camera.
Yeah, afterwards, a problem. We don't have any pictures.
Our problem
Before
is
it.
building, and I'll be honest with you, we need to find the building engineer, we need to have a protocol, what they need to do. And if it was me, I hired a professional company to come to do the new yield inspection, to inspect our building and tell us what to do. Now, another thing, we have emergency water, we're fixing it right away. We cannot live in town too. What is emergency? No air condition is not emergency?
Daniel, it's not the subject of this meeting right now. It's not the subject of the meeting. Right now, we're talking about ratifying plumbing works. Can we stick to that for now?
We've ratified it already.
We're not, I'm not done, okay? I have to go through everything here, please.
Continue, please.
Thank you.
What else?
The next one was apartment 221 in Tower 2. This time, there was a backup of water, not with sewer, however with sud. And it took 3 plumbers to come out here until finally Lone Star was able to identify the issue. There's a connecting pipe in the original structure of the building, that for some reason they connected the second floor bathroom to the main laundry line. So,
Who connected us?
no,
The
the
building?
contractor who built
It
this
doesn't
building.
make sense to me. Because 40 years, we didn't have a problem, all of a sudden we have the
It was
problem.
not-
That is one of the concerns I'm having. I mean, I appreciate the fact.
The problem existed for years. Eddie has been always going to those 2 apartments, both in Tower 1 and Tower 2, both of them on the second floor. And every time he did something and brought a plumber and did a quick fix, and the problem went and came back, and owners continued living with this for years. There was an old couple that lived in one apartment. they didn't care because they didn't use that bathroom. That's the story that was given to me from Eddie and the previous staff here about these two apartments. So, Lone Star came here and they inspected everything, they found out the problem, and they said it's a reroute of the pipe completely. They did the job, it cost $5,985. The job was completed in March. The owner since then has not seen the problem at all.
Was this the one where the plumbers worked almost 24 hours? I think.
No, that's another
That's the
one,
other.
right.
That's another one?
Yeah.
That's on level 4.
Say thank you, you don't live on the second floor.
Well,
It's just.
I just find, it's very concerning that we are having all these plumbing problems. It's very concerning.
We've had them for years, they were not addressed properly. And unfortunately, it got to
You
the
agree with me,
point,
we need engineer, a good
it
engineer,
got to
that's
the
what my
point
point.
that now I don't have a choice, but.
Right, but I think this
But I
is,
can't be proactive because that means changing
well,
all the.
I think, my suggestion would be in the future though, is that when these occur, like, we're thankful to the board and management for actually taking actions, but if you could provide the information at the next meeting so we know, because I recall seeing the 24 hours issues. Now,
I remind you what's happened, it was, the one over here was, we didn't have all weekend water, we couldn't do nothing, all the town too. There was stink and everybody complained about the stink, they stay all weekend. One is over here, they fixed the.
Tower 1.
No, here, the bathroom, they had to open the valet, I know it. All of those was in the weekend, and another one is the 2 units. I went one time, the soap coming up from the laundry room, it's the 21 in line next to the thing. It's finished, it's done. I don't know what they did the 10 years, this guy went and fixed here and they touch here, touch here. That's it, it's done. It's resolved, that's it. It's all paid and finished. Regarding insurance, every time it's different $5,000. In every case, it's a $5,000. That's what I understand. That's it.
So the deductible is per event?
Yes, like you're in a car.
As almost everyone here sitting today, you're all aware of issues that we're having in the building with hot water, cold water, low pressure, no pressure.
It's a problem.
That is as a result of several things, all related to plumbing again. A few weeks ago, maybe about 2 months, we changed the main hot water PRV in the boiler, in the machine room upstairs. That was voted on in a board meeting, and Lone Star ended up doing that job.
Now they need another part.
No. We also have a cold water PRV, and both of those components are 40 years old. They were the original components. So the hot water we changed. What's happening is that we're slowly losing cold water in the building. It could get to the point that there will be no cold water at all. People will not be able to take showers because it's going to be scalding hot. So
how it's going to be hot? Because only hot water line going to
right.
be? Okay.
So
who checked it?
Three plumbers.
Take 2 minutes, look at the photos of the existing piece, and let me know if do you believe that this piece of equipment is suited for working.
I saw this picture.
Well,
I saw this picture. And my opinion, and you guys can say, it's not the agenda of engineering. This all can be prevented if it was maintained.
It's had 40 years, yeah, this is correct.
It's done, it's there.
This is 40 years old, that's it. It's goodbye, Shalom Israel. Translate Shalom Israel, goodbye.
מה שלום על ישראל? מה שלום על ישראל?
40 years old.
Okay, 40
Stay in
years
English,
old.
please.
What is
The
the
English
bike?
is,
I see over here a rusty valve, nobody took care of it. That's all I see.
So that's the issue that we're dealing with in the building right now. Now, the other
See
thing
what I
is,
see? Yeah, all
Continue.
No, it's 40 years.
Okay, what's different between this and the
Continue,
windows?
please.
the other problem that we're having
אל
that,
תתחילו איתי.
that is affecting the issues with the water is valves.
It's what?
Valves, main valves, shut-off valves, return valves for the risers. Now, our building is structured a little bit different than other buildings, where we have lines that controlled from the second floor, or the garage, all the way to the 11th floor, and then from the 12th floor to the penthouse.
The valves you talk about.
The valves, and we're talking about hundreds of valves that we have here. Throughout the years, they were never changed, they were never replaced, and they got to the point that they're not shut properly, or they're in a situation that if you'll try to turn them, you can break them.
Right.
So.
They can stay closed or open.
Open,
you know.
correct. So I started tackling this more aggressively with Eduardo, and he actually did a great job identifying through all the shutoffs that he had to do throughout the last year about when an apartment needed a shutoff. That's when we find out that that particular valve is no good. So there were several that were in a condition that needed to be replaced immediately,
Okay.
or we can potentially risk a flood, 7 of them. So I moved forward with that. That was done in.
How much is one?
In May, $740 part and labor.
Per one. How many we have in the building?
No, the question should be, I don't know how many we have in the building, nobody ever gave me a number, but I can tell you, the board, and we'll talk about it another time, there are 30 that need to be replaced immediately, according to the maintenance crew from all the shuttles that they did.
So it's been, the only shadow, only the apartment when they do renovation. Okay, I want to do a survey on all of them. My opinion, if this is the
So you want to
situation.
survey if the 40-year-old valve needs to be replaced?
No. If he's telling me now they have a 30, and the only one is to find out they're not good when they do the renovation, and we're going to create the thing, I try to check all of them. Nothing to do with the 40 years, as a maintenance. So we don't have one breaking, and it have to be, all the shutting valve have to be checked.
Okay. Changed,
Check,
replaced,
I don't know.
40 years.
Some.
Okay, change.
I mean, not tomorrow, but you need to go and replace them all
Correct.
in 2 or 3 years.
I don't know.
This is what they are doing. I think it's correct.
It's correct because they're going there because they need to be shut. Because somebody renovate his apartment or have a problem in the apartment. I try to.
Nobody renovates the apartment.
Okay.
You need to keep your valves working.
Correct, so all I say, I need to check it, you understand?
I think it would be a good idea to work with one company and say, check them all, give me a plan.
Correct.
Then in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we replace them all.
Depends how old,
That's
how
what I
bad are
say,
they.
because one going to break, like a break before I got over there, and it be a mess. That's what everybody didn't know, but I got the letter from Terry. One was breaking over there in the penthouse, and all this building got fucked about 3-4 years ago.
Okay, but they are doing that.
They
They are
doing,
replacing it.
they doing because,
The emergency.
not emergency, because
No,
somebody
it's-
renovate the building.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I want to prevent it to do check up over there so we know what's going on. One's going to break and it's all
I agree,
flooded.
we need to replace them all. No, we cannot have 40-year-olds.
So this particular,
Cannot have 40 years window too.
7 valve job costs $5,085. Can somebody please make a motion
I make the
to
motion to
ratify?
ratify the plumbing proposal that we just reviewed.
Accomplish with the study to see how
No,
bad.
there's nothing.
No, that has nothing.
This
to
is
do-
done.
This is done, this is done.
Was done in
I have a
emergency.
motion to ratify, do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
In favor.
Favor.
Raul, for the next meeting, you should propose that it be on the agenda to have that done. This is a separate.
In any case, we need to be able to start.
Okay, the third item that you need to vote on, I think we spoke enough in, right now about it. It's to vote on a company to replace the cold water PRV, which we have to do immediately. And it will take some time because once they order the part, it could take several weeks before we get it.
How many weeks?
Several, they didn't say how many.
How much several it could be?
How
2
much,
years.
how much is the one?
The three proposals that I have here, one is from Universal Plumbing, came at $13,000. One from J.J. Davis Plumbing, came at $95.50, and the other one is from Lone Star, came at $8,968.
Who did the two aqua?
Lone Star.
Okay,
That's it.
Now, I just want to
I
explain
make
something.
a motion to use Lone Star, and that's it.
Okay.
Who's second? Howard, you want to explain something more?
No, it's okay. No.
All right, explain.
It's,
Second?
Who's in favor?
I'm in favor.
wait, who made the motion?
Raul.
I made the motion. But anyway, explain what you want to say.
Well, he is right, just as a reference, the other PRV that we already did, it was 88.36. And yes, and this one is 89.68.
And this was
It
on
was
the
130.
Seconded by who? Who seconded?
Joseph.
The first one was done by Lone Star.
Yeah.
They did good quality work, there's no problem.
So, it's, so I want to say something about, Lone Star.
Go, you need to go. You cannot stop. You need to go.
Lone Star, since I started working here, it's been very, very difficult with vendors. It's not easy with vendors in general. Many of you see it everywhere in the market. Lone Star is a company that Estrella knew from the building she worked in. That's how I got to know them. J.J. Davis is a great company that used to do a lot of work here. But I guess when Terry came, she got rid of them and brought her own plumber at the time. J.J. Davis, however, charges just to come to the property to give an estimate.
Ciao.
Lone Star does not do that. Lone Star proved to be a very professional company. The problem is that even though I would like to use them all the time, once we go over a certain amount of money, it has to be brought up to a board meeting and we have to have bids. I am not gonna be able to get 3 bids every time, I'm telling you right now, because companies are basically telling me to go to hell.
Yeah.
Because they give bids and we don't use them,
Right.
and they're like, listen,
No,
don't
this is
waste my
very
time
common.
anymore.
This
This
is
is a challenge for every property manager in every property. However, we still need to do things by statute. So hopefully, you'll be okay with 2 proposals, which is just fine. And hopefully I can get every time other companies to do this. However, Lone Star, every work that they've done in this building helped. So we just need to keep that in mind and understand that if we want quality for a long period of time, that is a company that basically proves
Yes,
itself.
I'm okay, but we cannot,
For $9,000, we need to get bids.
right, we need to bid.
No, I understand.
No matter what
Also, I
you
didn't
say,
suggest we're
I
not
agree
going
with
to,
you,
but
but
it's getting
sorry,
more and more difficult to get more and more companies.
that's part of
every
the
time.
job. I understand
You
and
can
it's very
get, let's say for the valve, you can get him a flat price per valve, so we know it, we approve the flat valve.
You are
the flat
100%
valve.
correct, not
We-
for valve and labor. It
Yeah,
gives
we
you-
approve the flat and you don't have to go.
Right.
Now, if you do like a program.
That is
to
correct what he
do
said.
all the valves,
Mhm.
you can approve the program.
Yeah.
And then we.
That's what I'm trying
But
to
this
say.
is, when you're talking specific only for lobster or for everything? Because we cannot give it to anybody a white check in.
No, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Don't worry, they get you, don't worry.
You're always gonna get bids.
That's normal.
It's only an input and a recommendation about what I've seen with them versus
But you
Peter's
don't-
plumbing
Okay.
that did what they did and it didn't work.
But let me clarify my mind. You talk only about the valves in this case.
Right,
Because you say
No, anything you can do.
anything that is more than a certain amount.
No, if let's say you have a class.
He's not saying that he's not going to look for it, he's going to look for it, but of course, if you are
We have to look for
asking
this.
for bids all the time and you never hire other
I
companies,
understand
don't
this is
start-
this is the big problem all over the world.
Exactly.
It's
So,
not-
one of the solution is not always
If
using
you
the
have
same
one comment, like a valve, he can give you a valve to know per valve, and that's it.
You cannot
Yes, I understand.
spend $9,000
But
with
it's
one.
all good, beautiful, we need to resolve the problem with the engineer.
Can somebody, any questions from any?
Somebody, any question?
I just want to thank management on the board for taking care of the emergencies that we have. However, my suggestion would be in the future, whenever these occur, please provide the information to us, the members, at the next board meeting that you have, so that there are, because right now, I'll be quite frank, I'm left with some concerns as to what occurred back then and the genesis of these events. But I'm thankful to management on the board for attending to these emergencies.
Thank you. Anybody want to adjourn?
I have, yeah, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's adjourn,
I said.
What time is it? What time is it?
It's 8:31.
31, yeah.